and welcome once again to an episode of Entering Operations Late Night. So, welcome to Entering Operations episode 10. We are going to be talking Temple of Sacrifice. So, I hope you guys are ready. I know I am. It's been Revan being quite the influential character in Star Wars, the Old Republic, KOTOR lore. I found it really fitting that he got his own raid, honestly. Aberration hype indeed. Alrighty, so without further ado, it's more than appropriate. Well, thank you, Squirrel. I appreciate it. Also, hi Marcus, how you doing? Alright, without further ado, let's introduce our experts and get this party started. Alrighty then. Well, hello everyone. Thank you so very much for being here. If everybody can hear me.
Yep.
Hello. Nope. Feels bad. Feels bad. All right. Well, guys, thank you so very much for being here this evening as we go after Revan himself. So, gonna go down the list. Tanking with us today is gonna be Elsa. Hi, Elsa. How are you doing, love?
Good.
Good. Elsa is a Star Wars content creator as well. She also streams at twitch.tv/Elsa, right?
Yeah, and I'm streaming the tank point of view.
Yeah, she will also be streaming the tank point of view, so if you are interested in learning the tank perspective, you are more than welcome to check out her channel. Yeah, those in the back can hear me. Well, thank you, Elsa. We love having you here. All right, and then next, the legend herself, it is Jadens, is our other tank for today. Hi, Jadens. How are you?
Hi. Hungry.
Hungry? What, no snack prior?
After the raid.
After raid? I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. I tend to eat after raids too. But Jadens is one of the best tanks in the game. She also was on the first 2 Nightmare Gods clears. She plays all 3 classes of tank, I think, right? Queen of the
Yep.
And she's the Queen of the Groffits. So
Yay!
Queen of the Groffits. So if you have any questions regarding Power Tech, Vanguard, Juggernaut,
Jug.
Guardian tanks, this is the lady to ask. Speaking of
Or
Yugs and Groffits. But speaking of Yugs, we've got Kagi Wagi.
I like jugs.
How are you doing, Kagi?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am all right. Thank you so very much for asking. Kagi is my Jug Guardian DPS expert. He's also a Star Wars content creator as well. You can find him at twitch.tv/Kogus with an underscore. He's also rank you were. I know I ask you this every time and I always forget. Rank top 8 in season.
I don't know.
You don't know. Anyway, he's a really good Jug and he PvPs a lot. So if you have any questions regarding Jug PvP or even Jug PvE, this is the gentleman to ask. Next up, Crane. You there, my man?
I'm here.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Doing all right? Little tired? Everyone's tired. It's a little late tonight, yeah. Crane
It'll
is...
carry me.
Okay, well, no, I'm on a Marauder, so I don't know about that. But Crane is our Vanguard Power Tech DPS expert. You are a member of the Last Centurions, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a member of the Last Centurions.
I kind of like stake on my own guild with just literally me in it, just out of flagship when I read it.
Well, he's a good dude, and if you have any questions regarding Vanguards or Power Tech DPS, this is the gentleman to ask. Next up, his guy has been here since the beginning. It's Kruby. Kruby, how are you doing, hon?
So, dude.
Sup, Kruby.
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm trying to glitch myself into this lantern.
Trying to glitch yourself into the lantern. Well, Kruby is our Merc expert. Merc and Commando expert. You play all 3 specs, so minus Arsenal, because... Is that even a spec anymore? I don't know.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be. I'm super hyped for Arsenal to come back. So if you have any questions regarding Mercs and Commandos, all 3 specs, send them his way. And we missed you last episode. Tom, how are you doing?
I'm good. You're actually doing it on my day off.
I know. It was purposely planned this way. But Tom, it's so good to have you back. How are you doing?
Good to be back. I'm good.
You're good? Well, Tom is our operative slash scoundrel heal expert. So if you have, and DPS really. So if any questions regarding operative and scoundrel, talk to this guy. Last but certainly not least, my favorite Sork healer. It's Wondershin. Hi, Wonder.
Wow.
I missed you last week too. How are you?
Living the dream, I guess.
Living the dream. Well, Wonder, who is also Tom and Wonder just recently received the title Slayer of the Machine Gods, which you get for defeating Nightmare Isaacs in Gods of the Machine. So I'm very proud of both of you. Congratulations on that excellent achievement. Hard pressed. So congratulations, and it's good to have you back.
Thank you, Jade.
So if you guys have any questions regarding Sork or Sage heals, this is Gentleman to Ask. Finally, I'm Lady Ran. I'm a sniper lightning Sork main that's playing a Marauder today. So if you guys want to see, we're going to see some wailing lightsabers today. All right. So, Temple of Sacrifice. Temple of Sacrifice can be found on Yavin 4, which is located in the seat of the Empire entrance or area in the galactic map. So once you travel to Yavin 4, you can also travel via solo activities. If you have unlocked the Yavin 4 daily area. I'm tired. Leave me alone. So that will bring you to the area back here in the coalition staging. Doing well, thank you so very much for asking. So the coalition staging is where you will land, and you will want to take the speeder route to the temple ruins. There's going to be 2 segments. You will have your Empire staging area over to the left of the right of the entrance, and then the Republic staging area is going to be to the left. And without further ado, let's jump in.
Wonder, I really didn't want to move forward.
What shenanigans are you guys doing right now?
I got stuck,
Woody,
so I wouldn't have to
clear
do
the
this all.
trash.
Clear the trash?
Clear
Yeah,
the
let's go.
trash.
Clearing trash. Man, I hate this trash. I hate this trash so much.
Yeah, they bounce around.
They bounce around.
And
Fiddle-dee-dee.
Russia, trash loves you.
Incoming.
Incoming. Oh gosh.
Oh, did you give us friends?
Yes, he brought friends.
Passport. This wasn't enough.
Oh my gosh, guys, I have no idea why I'm doing this. Was a horrible mistake.
What are you talking about?
Being on a Marauder, this was a horrible idea. I have no idea what I'm doing. Pop predation. Yes, I'm gonna pop. Yes. Popping
On the
predation
stairs.
on the
On the
stairs.
stairs.
Oh yeah. Am I planning on streaming Fallen Order when it drops? I would love to, but I don't even have a copy of the game. So.
Neither does everybody else.
But I
It
don't
hasn't
even
come
have.
out yet.
I won't at this time be able to afford a copy of the game.
True.
Stream goals.
Stream goals.
What was it? One of my bank accounts had $6 left. So I
Oh.
swapped another one. I said one of them.
Third floor sniper is
Are you going-
painful, yes.
Vass, are you going to be going over the notepad locations, by the way?
I didn't even think about that, but we can talk about that for sure. So in story mode, we're going to run through it. We're going to kind of blitzkrieg through story mode, pointing out a few key differences to keep an eye out for hard mode. Since Temple of Sacrifice is also one of the other 2. So Temple of Sacrifice and Ravagers are the only 2 operations in the game without a nightmare mode or master mode equivalent. So we're going to blitzkrieg through story mode, and then we're going to do a bulk of our explanations in hard mode, as we always do. I'm going to kick up this ready check. So big thing about Malaphar is that he's going to have whatever gender it goes by, is going to have a big circle underneath where the boss is. You just need to make sure you stand in it. I don't even think that they do stacks in story mode. I guess we'll find out, right? Are we ready?
Oh,
3, 2, 1, go!
I mean, it does, but most people ignore them.
Yeah, so there's going to be stacks that you receive inside the circle. When you're
No, I'm getting stacked.
Yeah, when you're inside the circle, you're going to get stacks. It's called Savagery. You take increased damage as the stacks continue, but you deal more damage as you have more stacks. And then you're supposed to clear them by running out, waiting for the stacks to fall off. You'll receive another stack called Exhaustion, and then you get back in. You're going to have ads that spawn. Those ads need to be taken away from the group because somebody's going to get a red circle on them. The red circle that spawns needs to be placed on the ads for them to be knocked down and then cleaved with the rest of the group. People's record stack count is, I'm actually not sure.
I'm at 12 right now.
You're at 12 right now?
But I hit 25 before.
You've hit 25?
Sword lightning.
30.
Yeah, 25 is the cap because I hit on my sword on hard mode and it's capped.
Okay, so 25 is the cap?
Yeah.
Truly
If
impressive.
I recall correctly, I believe you can reflect the spire, like the red circle that forms.
Yes,
if
you can.
you're a merc. So yeah, big deeps.
Big deeps.
Yep.
Chugga chugga choo choo, everyone. We've got Super Pret. This is a terrible
go.
idea. I don't play anything other than Carnage because I have no idea how to play any of the other two specs.
Any is pretty easy.
I hear that Annie is pretty easy, but that doesn't mean that I'm not garbage at it
Fury
anyway.
is a set rotation. You can literally just auto it.
Hi, Zaltaros. This is the first and only raid you've done so far. Well, it's a pretty big, like, story-wise, it's a very, very big raid. It is the conclusion of the entirety of 3.0 content, so Rishi and Yavin. It also brings to a close some of the content and flashpoints from earlier storylines in vanilla as well.
It explains why Revan is pushed over when you do the solo content at the end.
Yep.
Phase.
Correct. I have no idea what I am doing.
Dot spread.
I'm playing Carnage.
Massacre!
Massacre! Massacre, massacre, massacre!
You massacre until you don't have any.
So
raid
everything's on
anymore,
cooldown.
And then you keep spamming massacre, and then if you can't do massacre anymore, smash your face against the keyboard.
Hi, Halshi. It's good to see you. I'm really sad that later on they took away our favorite Sleen, Kevin. Back when 3.0, when Temple of Sacrifice was originally released, there was a very, very special little Sleen in between the second and third boss. And we called him Kevin. And you could knock Kevin off the side and he would despawn. And then they just took him away, period.
Oh, I legit thought they named it Kevin. I was like, okay, well.
No, we named it Kevin.
Walkers ahead, 2 of them. Oh look, Kara, here they come. Just like Revan said.
Fine, I owe you 10 credits.
What made Kevin special was that he was just chill. He was just the only Sleen in that entire stretch of area. And so it was like, hey, you know, it's Kevin. It's Kevin the Sleen. He was just super chill. And he would follow you if you aggroed him, he would follow you all the way to the door of Underlurker. He was just a chill dude. And then they got rid of him. So we miss Kevin. Rip Kevin. Alright, so walkers. You're going to have 2 walkers, clearly. Everyone's focus is primarily going to be on Sword Squadron Unit 1. Sword Squadron Unit 1 will put up a shield at certain times. At that point, you need to swap over to Unit 2. Not a lot of big differences here in story mode. The biggest thing that I've noticed that wipes groups is the fact that people unevenly kill the bosses or the bosses enrage. It still has a pretty tight, I use air quotes, tight DPS check for a story mode boss. It's still not insignificant though. The units or the walkers have to die within, I would say, 5 to 10 seconds of each other. Otherwise, each one the other enrages. So no gravity. Yeah, no gravity. We'll go over that in hard mode. So if Unit 2 dies before Unit 1, Unit 1 will start doing this spam, just massive laser blast that can one-shot tanks. If Unit 1 dies before Unit 2, Unit 2 will start doing a huge round of area, or just raining missiles from above. So it's really, really good practice and best for the raid group health to DPS them down relatively evenly. I don't think there's bombs in story mode, but I could be wrong. I think there are bombs.
There is.
Yeah, there
I
are.
do the bombs.
Okay, so over here to the side, I'm gonna put a marker over here. So over here, there are going to be little canisters that are kind of like bombs. As the fight progresses, these canisters are going to light up. You have a limited amount of bombs, though. You have 5 to 6 bombs. You have 5 bombs, that's correct. You have 5 bombs, and that you need to use those bombs in order to take off the shield that's on Unit 1. So it's best to, usually a DPS, sometimes a healer will take that responsibility. If you are the bomb runner, I think you're slowed. Yeah.
Not sure. In
You are
story mode, but
silenced.
yeah.
You are silenced, so you can't use like force speed, you can't use roll, you can't use leap.
You can pre-pop hydraulics.
You can pre-pop hydraulics, yes, but like having a marauder with predation in the group, super effective. So anything of that sort, you yourself are silenced. But the tank that is tanking Unit 1 will call out for when they're ready for the bomb. All of the other DPS will be on Unit 2. Unit 2 is untauntable, so that's why all of your DPS are going to start. You're going to start on Unit 1. Allow the tank to build threat, the other tank to build threat on Unit 2, and then avoid red circles on the ground. And we're going to go over more in depth about why those mechanics are so imperative later on in hard mode. You found your
Guys,
password.
my shoulder cannon.
Rip, shoulder cannon.
Cog has my shoulder cannon.
All right, 3,
Pulling in
2,
3,
1, go!
2.
I'm a marauder, I have to.
No. Don't teach them bad habits.
No, you're
Also,
right.
You now need to link the 5 rules of Sentinel.
You are teaching them how to be a marauder, so you're doing right.
I am doing it right!
You know, if you don't pull the boss before the group, I'm picking up the bomb and incoming. You don't pull the boss before, you don't do stupid things, like standing in circles, you are not being a real marauder.
I'm not being a real marauder. No wonder why I never picked up this class. So there.
Yeah, you have to.
There's the bomb icon. So there is another mechanic that I forgot about. At some point, there's going to be 1 to 2 players that receive a white circle underneath them that will stun you. So you just need to make sure you take it out of the group.
I got it, but I'm not moving because I'm the tank.
That's fine.
I'm the tank, the AP tank, so...
AP tank. Alright, so dot specs fall off of Unit 1 and move on to Unit 2. So we are moving off of Unit 1 at 10%. And moving on to
Is it
Unit
10%
2.
already?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I said
I'm gonna
everybody.
pick up a bomb. I'm not picking up a bomb for now.
Doggy woggy with the grenadey weighty. Never mind.
Oh, she's putting it on me.
Yeah. I couldn't find Rand.
Rude. Have a predation. Because it was lighting up and I wanted to click it.
Alright, they're at 10, stop. Stop.
Oh, I should pick up a bomb, shouldn't
Probably
I?
should. Stop on Unit 2. It's at 3%.
Jaden's, please.
Jaden's place.
I canceled the cast.
Jaden's place.
I'm coming. I'm going. Kill unit 1.
Yeah. There you go. Here's a. You mean
Second
unit
ship's
2?
gonna come up in 15 seconds.
Everyone on unit 1. And on unit 2.
You're close.
And
So close.
boom. So close. So close. Just as a reminder, chat, bombs aren't Groffits. Why would you pick one up, Jaden's? That's a question from chat.
It's cause if I don't do that, we're gonna wipe. Cause
Right.
otherwise I would not touch bombs. Cause
So, just as a quick aside,
if we're graphics,
just one second. So, as a quick aside, here's another trash. A lot of groups like to skip it. So, what they'll do is they'll have a stealther CC this one ad over to the side. Everybody will hug the wall, run away, hug the wall, and avoid that trash section.
The next one can be skipped as well if you CC this
but
one.
apparently we are not.
And,
We're not. Nah.
Well, no. And this. Then
Yes,
you
we
can
get
skip.
to it
Also,
now.
one other thing about the walkers.
We're gonna talk more. We're gonna talk very in depth in hard mode, just as an FYI.
Okay,
So.
because I just
Yeah.
I mentioned the thing that used to be a tank swap in my stream. So wanted to throw it in for yours, but we can talk about it when we get to it.
Yeah, we'll talk. We're gonna go through and we're gonna talk from each of the roles' perspectives as well in hard mode. So this is just a one night stand. Yeah. So just by the way, chats, both Kagi's chat, Elsa's chat, and mine, you are more than welcome to ask questions. If you are in my chat, either I or my moderators will direct it to the correct expert. And so, yeah, feel free to ask questions. We'll answer them as fast as we can. You have a question? Oh boy. Do I know the Muffin Man? Who is the best boy? Zenny, clearly. Hello. Zenny is
That was
best.
groovy.
My dog disagrees.
Well, it's okay. It's okay for your dog to be wrong.
Aww, dogs are never
So
wrong.
Kevin the Sleen used to just chill, like just right here. He would just chill right here, and he wouldn't aggro. Like he would aggro, but he would despawn after you got to the door. So we made it a huge point not to kill Kevin. People would still be assholes, and they would like knock him off because they're rude. You want to know the Muffin Man? I want to know the Muffin Man.
I knocked him off the edge a bunch of times, not gonna lie.
I know
Had to do it to him.
All right, Underlurker. This is the bug stopper. Am I right?
Well, you're not wrong.
Not wrong. Exactly. So he spawns ads in story modes, but they don't slow. So the biggest thing about Underlurker is he's actually still really buggy. Underlurker has a mechanic called the cross. So what your raid lead will need to do is set up the cross frames. You'll need to separate it by sides. So tank, 2 DPS, healer. I'm gonna do this. Okay, so the cross mechanic spawns after the ad round. So he's gonna Underlurker's gonna spawn 3 ads. Your group needs to take them down as quickly as possible, and there's going to be another mechanic that shows up in hard mode, which is a reason why you want to get rid of these ads ASAP. So the cross mechanic comes. It's literally a cross. There's going to be a place. There's going to be markers. So you're going to have 2 tank markers, front and back of the Underlurker, and then you have DPS and heal markers on the sides of the arms. So your raid leader needs to assign a team or a flashpoint group to each section of the cross mechanic. The cross mechanic is still relatively buggy at the moment. You only need one. In story mode, you really only need one person, but it's still a good habit to get into for everyone to be in, your column to be in the appropriate areas. Highly recommend jumping once you see yourself in the cross, because sometimes the game doesn't recognize that you're actually in the cross. The server doesn't either reset, it doesn't what A, B, C, or D. It doesn't matter. Underlurker has been buggy since 3.0. In hard mode, it can wipe your group. Because if you fail the cross mechanic, Underlurker does massive damage to the group, and it can kill several people. Other than that, those are the only two really big mechanics to watch out for Underlurker in story mode. Yes, ma'am.
One thing for tanks, especially for the cross mechanic, it's something I was taught long ago to help fix it not bugging. The tank that has aggro on him, after everybody gets knocked back, do not move at all until the cross shows up. Apparently that can make it look turned on your screen versus other people's screens.
Gotcha.
Or just other people's screens. So if you have aggro on him, just stand still until you see the cross show up. You can jump up and down, but do not move at all until he comes towards you and does the cross. Otherwise, basically you can have like a 10-degree or 20-degree rotation on the cross. Think you're square inside the cross, and the cross fails.
Yep.
And 3 other people are going to be like, why weren't you in the cross? So that's one thing that helps keep the bugs to a minimum.
Thank you very much for that. All right. Let's knock this out. Ruby.
I'll be pulling.
We don't need that, guys. No.
We don't need that guy. All right, I'm going to let the tank
I
pull
mean,
this
we
time.
were talking forever.
My cannons are more important, so.
On tanks, please.
Oh, he's ready?
Yep.
Okay.
He's back.
Pulling in 3, 2, 1.
You have done well so far. Steel yourselves. I have faced such beasts before, but never one this strong with the dark side.
I just want to know what qualifies the Underlurker as strong in the dark side. So very important to make sure that the ads are killed before the collapse happens. So when Underlurker channels collapse, there's going to be these rocks and big red circles that spawn. You want to make sure that you are not anywhere in the near the vicinity of the red circles, but be ready to be behind the rock, as it will save you from the rage storm. All right, cross mechanic has happened. And that is the sign that you have completed the cross correctly.
It turns red if you don't.
Exactly, it turns red if you fail the cross mechanic. So the biggest things that tend to wipe groups here in Underlurker are failed crosses, dying to red circles, and enrage. So see, it's going to, so the red circle spawns, there's going to be a green icon that means you need to stand behind that rock. You're going to get knocked back, but otherwise, if you stand out in the open area during Rage Storm, you're going to take a lot of damage, and in hard mode, it can kill you. Ow, that was my face. Cross mechanic again. I'm going to just jump to reset my position. Tanks do swap.
That's in story mode.
Non-story.
Well, yeah, but
yeah, we'll talk more about it in hard mode.
We can probably just Zerg now, because
Zerg now.
He's gonna die.
Massacre!
Prevailed, but it will only get worse, and I can
that's
only
Underlurker.
do so much.
very good
Be
timing.
bold and endure.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's the worst when it's like hard mode and you get the ads and you just like slowly keep hitting you.
I'm just gonna hit it really slowly. All right, Revanite Commanders. Revanite
Glorified
Commanders.
trash.
Yeah, it's a glorified trash bowl. They seem like really nice people, really important people, but it's just a glorified trash bowl. 2 trash packs in between. You got a bunch of birds, and then you have some Revanite.
You know how it is when your PT DPS goes and pull everything.
I'm sorry?
When someone that's on a PT DPS goes and pull everything, you know how the trash is.
Yep.
That's it?
So when you enter the Revanite Commanders arena, you need to be careful because the 3 Revanite Commanders, Sano, Darren, and Curse, are down on the arena floor. So you just want to be careful that you don't aggro them upon entering the room, which is why we're all kind of like cloistered over here towards the wall. So they're all going to jump back up onto their platforms. So Darren jumps up there, Sano jumps up there, and Curse jumps up here, and they are untouchable while they are up on their platforms. There's going to be a whole bunch of trash that spawns. You're going to have Revanite Outlaws that spawn from Sano's door, Revanite Mandalorians that spawn from Darren's door, and Revanite... What are they? They're not Sith, it's just Revanite Warriors, I think, from Curse's door. Each one of the different... Hello, Nishi. Each one of the different Revanite portals, I'm going to just air quotes that, portals, each one of their ads do something different. So the Revanite Outlaws will do a cleave that you really want to avoid. If you see that you are getting cleaved by like spread fire, you want to just make sure that you move away from the group. In hard mode, that can kill you. The Revanite Mandalorians will do death from above. There's going to be an orange circle that spawns on the floor where the Mandalorian Revanites are casting their death from above, so you just want to avoid those yellow circles. And the Mandalorian or the Revanite Sith that spawn will put several debuffs on you, a healing debuff and an armor debuff. So you want to make sure that your healers just keep a lookout for those for cleanses. The pattern that the bosses drop is random. The most important one is going to be Sano. Sano will spawn a big shield around him that moves around with him, and you can't do DPS unless you're inside the shield, very similar to Calpheus on Dread Council. He will also do a Dirty Kick, which is a total aggro dump. It will stun the person that has aggro, and then Sano will jump to the person with the next highest threat. No, we don't need markers. Not for story mode. The next big one to look out for is going to be Lord Curse. Lord Curse will do a Force Explosion. There's going to be a big purple circle that spawns on Curse. I think it's on Curse. Or on the tank. You'll just need... That's just AoE damage for anybody inside the purple circle. So you want to make sure, especially if you don't have anybody with rebounders in your group. Oh, yeah, we can put markers on the bosses. Okay. Just make sure that... you're outside of the purple circle. Darren will just do tracer missile spam like an old merc from 1.0, and that's really all that happens. So they'll each jump up and down twice. I think they jump up at 60% and at 30%, and at the percentages to be adjusted. And at the final burn, all 3 of them are going to be down on the arena floor, plus ads. While the bosses are up, it is the tank's job to manage ads. DPS need to be on the bosses, minus the tank who is taking the boss at the time. So, that is just kind of an overbroad trash pull mechanic. We'll talk a little bit more about the hard mode mechanics in just a little bit. No, we won't. No cheesing in story mode. We can cheese in hard mode. Or vice versa. I don't know. Nah, let's just do it straight. Do it straight. Hello, Nishi. How are you doing? Groovy, what the heck?
What?
That picture I saw. All I'm gonna
yeah.
say is that you're AP.
Oh my god.
Doing well, thank you. Thank you very much for the follow.
I would respect the tank on hard mode.
No, you don't have to. We're good. Alright, on tanks.
Do your worst, invaders!
So it looks like Darren is going to be the first one down. So two Revanites. Here's the death from above. There was the cleave. Nope, it's going to be Sano first. So it's everyone's job to be on the trash when the bosses are up, but when the bosses are down, we need to be on the bosses. There it is. So there's the purple circle that Sano spawns. So you need to make sure all DPS are inside the circle, very similar to Calpheus.
Also, don't kill ads while bosses are down.
Yeah, do not kill ads while bosses are down. So, and that was what? 65%.
I want to slaughter.
So Curse is next. The boss that will be dropping will give a vocal cue. So Sano will say, let's see what you've got.
Every last one of you.
Curse will say, every last one of you prepare for your demise. And I want to slaughter. There's the purple circle that spawns on the tank.
Go, Curse. Go.
We have rebounder, so I don't have to move.
Yeah, that's fine. I just didn't want cheese.
Well, that's why I was asking. No cheese.
Yeah, cheese. No cheese for story mode. Just, you gotta do it straight at least once. Gotta know the rules before you can break them, right?
Or just break them anyway.
Whoever collects the most heads.
Whenever Darren comes into the fight, he's gonna yell victory to whomever collects the most heads. That's how you know that he is going to be next. He's gonna be dropping next. I am awful at this class. I won't let Revan fail is when he actually enters the fight. He's gonna run around like crazy, do tracer missile spam, and he's gonna jump.
Annoying.
Yeah.
Because he bugs.
Destroy them.
Carby.
Thank you, ma'am. So he'll do a knockback, and then he'll leap to a different corner of the arena. And then he's up. So that's round 1. Round 2.
And then they drop every 5 ads, I believe, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it's maybe. Yeah, I think you're right, actually. Every 5 rounds of ads.
No. 5 ads, I thought. That's why we don't kill in between bosses, because we don't want to have to kill more than necessary.
Yes. Yes, you're correct. Also rounds 2, the second round of bosses is also random as well. Just because Sano dropped first doesn't mean he's gonna drop first in the second round. So.
God damn it! Why he does that?
Darren likes to rubber band. I'm not gonna lie, he likes to rubber band.
I left and he rubber banded it. I hate this boss.
So Sano is going to be next. He just yelled out, take it to him, team. There's also going to be an indicator in your chat saying which boss will be next as well. So if you don't hear the vocal cue, you can even look at your chat and it will say Sano Thryka prepares to enter the fray.
There's also raid announcements.
There is also raid announcements, correct. Just as a little tidbit, the voice of Eric Jorgen is the voice of Sano Thryka. Timothy Oberson voiced both of them. I thought it was nifty. I like Eric, so.
Let none survive.
Lassiter from Psyche, correct. Let none survive. That is Lord Curse. Lord Curse will be dropping next. Whoop. So even though I was able to jump to Sano, he's actually up here, but he shows us down on the arena floor.
I'm talking in and rebounding.
Break them, Curse.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
I don't want people to take damage.
Yeah. So once the hi there, General Kenobi. But once the third boss in the second phase has dropped, all 3 that will be burn phase. You will immediately enter burn phase at that point. Typically, you want to do Sano first, then Curse, then Darren. The reason being,
first.
You're going on Curse. Okay.
There is a
Ah! That was the wrong button. I always enter burn phase after Taco Bell.
There was this one time where I had a bunch of like yogurts in my fridge and it said like the flavors on the side of it. And then there was a picture of a taco on one and I'm like, I have taco flavored yogurt? And then I realized it was sour. Then I realized it was sour cream.
comprehension too hard. Nerf now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I believe in you, Alsha.
Nani? Oh.
I believe in you.
And that is Revanite Commanders. Very, honestly, one of the easier bosses in this instance. Yeah, go
It
ahead
used
and
to be
skip.
really hard.
It used to be super hard. Yes, it used to be super, super hard.
Yeah, it used to hurt
Yeah,
a
back
lot.
in
Like
my
if
day, this fight was super hard.
Back in my day, Pepperidge Farm
back in
remembers.
like 3.0, one clip of the ads used to one shot players.
Mhm.
And I remember doing this with plugs, like, cause I didn't have a raid group back on
Oh yeah.
hard mode Ravager and TOS, and I did, cause I did I did the first 2 bosses, and then I did some polls on Underlurker and didn't kill, and then I joined the plug to do Commanders, and it actually had the DPS checks, cause the bosses
Yes.
would enrage like super quick,
Yes.
and everything did so much damage.
That red aura is from Berserk, and then my 30 Stacks of Fury as a Marauder, which I never played this class. Never. So what's going on right now is that Elsa, our Sin tank, has stealth past the... So there's like 2 waves of trash that's up ahead. It's really, really annoying. They have a lot of health. Yeah, go ahead. They have a lot of health. They hit pretty hard, so she has stealthed through them, gotten to the Revan fight, so she's going to pull Revan, and she's going to either stealth out or die, and we're going to respawn in the Revan fight itself, so we skip all of that trash. Don't necessarily...
You can actually stuff on a Marauder too.
Yeah, but I'm not a real Marauder, so I can't do that.
Coming for you, Vitiate.
I did once on Marauder before,
So you basically bypass that
scary.
entire trash pack. However, if you are, I don't recommend doing that if you are progging on Revan, just because otherwise you have to, like, during a wipe on Revan, you have to spam click the area start button in hopes that you spawn right here in this area. Otherwise you'll spawn at the very back of the instance, and it's just, it's a mess. All right, Revan, the man, the myth, the legend, Revan. So he's got a lot of mechanics. He has a lot of mechanics. This is Matt Petrovich's first raid design, and he kind of went crazy. So there's 3 floors. First floor is going to be Revan. You've heard my voice in T-streams, I'm sorry. So first phase is going to be Revan from 100% to about 65, I believe it is. There's going to be a lot of mechanics in the first phase. There's going to be a tether that spawns between... That is true. There's going to be a tether that spawns, so it's going to be a big yellow line that spawns between 2 players. The 2 people that have the tether will have to run through until the tether goes through this big white column in the room, or yellow column in the room, and then the tether will disappear, and you can go back to your positions. Positioning is also a very big thing here in Revan, and I'll explain that in a minute. And we're going to explain the tank a little bit more in hard mode, because it's pretty big deal, master mode. I don't think there's no cleanses in story mode, correct?
No.
Cleanses in story mode. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. There's no trail in story mode either, right? No trail in story mode.
Nope.
So it's really just, I believe it's just the tether. So at 65%, Revan's gonna go into a god bubble and disappear. And then HK is going to drop down. HK 47 is going to appear and immediately go into a AoE cleave called pseudo random violence. He's also going to spawn a big bubble similar to Calpheus, and all of the DPS have to be inside that bubble in order to DPS HK down. He does not do kill shot, and there are no droids in story mode. So but there are grenades, if I recall correctly. So at certain points, HK is going to throw a whole bunch of grenades on every player. These are cleansable. However, when you do cleanse them, there's going to be a red circle that spawns where the area where you were standing when you were cleansed to be a grenade. So if I was standing right here, the red circle will spawn right here. It will stun you and knock you back if you sit in it, so you definitely want to try to avoid stacking with the group as a whole. if usually a lot of teams that are progging hard mode Revan especially will take at least 2 range to 2 melee. Because range, what you can do is you can just run out, cleanse yourself if you're a Sork or a Merc, and then run back in. Snipers weaken and drench, and laugh at everybody else, but people don't really like that. So HK dies or explodes at 9%, and then we move on to second floor. So second floor, there's going to be 2 sets of stairs or platforms that spawn in these areas. So it's going to spawn here on this pylon, and then there's going to be one that spawns here by this set of stairs. So we've got a little bit of a jumping puzzle as well. So you will need, there is a little bit of jumping, and I'll show you as we actually do the fight. But there are gaps in the stairs as we get up to the second floor. So you'll need to make sure that you maneuver those stairs correctly. The second and third floor, I think we're going to talk about more as we're doing it, and then we'll talk more in depth when we get to them in hard mode. Because I can't really, it's really hard to explain second and third floor when you're not actually seeing it. Because the mechanics just don't make sense. Jaden's? Jaden's!
She's feeding her Graffit army. One second.
Her Graffit army.
Either that or actually eating.
Why are you real sad, Hashi? So, but while we're waiting for Jaden's to, or yeah, while we're waiting for Jaden's to get back, a little bit of overview about second floor. So second floor and third floor are going to have an identical arena as this, only it's going to be a lot smaller. So Revan is going to spawn on second floor. He's going to spawn right here, so opposite of where he spawns, or he is on first floor. So he's going to spawn here. Nothing huge in story mode. There's not really a lot. One of the big things to remember in Revan is that Revan has a backstab. So if you turn your back to Revan, especially in hard mode, I don't remember if he does it in story mode, but if you turn your back to Revan, he will come up and like stab you in the back.
Not the thing in story mode.
No, you're good. It doesn't happen in story mode, but once again, good habit to make sure that you don't turn your back. So those backpedaling that people have been giving you crap for actually comes into play in Revan.
Only for tanks, though.
Only for tanks, that's true. But still, anybody with aggro, really.
Yeah.
I just heard your Graffit sneeze, and I don't know how I feel about this.
Great.
Alright, on tanks.
Pulling in 3, 2,
My
1.
Revanites understand what you do not.
So there is a mechanic called Heave that happens in both story mode and in hard mode. He's just going to launch a bunch of rocks at you. If you have rebounders, it's really good. Oh, blades.
Wait, what? I forgot to change my utility.
It's okay.
It's okay, I can tank.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
Revan will spawn 2 blades. They will spawn on either side of... They will spawn towards the farthest player. So typically that's why you want to have at least 2 range. You know, if not, maybe a healer and a tank. Healer and a range. They don't have a lot to bait the from the end, right? To bait the blades, and then you'll need to knock them into the circle. So bad at this class. All right. So he's jumped up. technically he'll say, HK, it is time. HK will say, these specimens will not provide optimum killing satisfaction, Master. I trust you'll make do.
Will serve my masters.
So there's the grenades. I'm gonna back away, probably backed away too far. But you want to just make sure that you're not standing with the rest of the group during the grenade phase. Pseudo-random violence goes out, so you just want to make sure that you're not standing in the cleave. Handful of grenades just happened there. So I'm gonna do something like this! Oh, sorry, Wonder, or sorry guys. I'm watching the bulk of the healers and they hate me now, I just know it. Yes, there is...
It's okay, we're being marauders.
There'll be others. Okay.
Interfering with my DPS friend.
I'm sorry.
Your interference will be your undoing.
Alright, so here's a little bit, here's part one of the jumping puzzle. So as you can see, the stairs have spawned and a little platform. Jump up, jump over the side. Super bread.
Jump
Epic.
Up,
You
Really
are the worst.
Jump pad, please.
Just as an
On
FYI.
cooldown.
Yeah, on cooldown. Don't worry, I've got the super bread on cooldown. It's okay.
Especially when Jaden's is jumping up to get to
yeah,
third floor on
get to
hard
third floor,
mode.
yeah.
That's the perfect spread moment right there.
I'll be fine.
Oh, just by the way, Marauders actually do
You're
not
grabbing
pop
him
bread. Do not pop bread on any portion of the stairs.
Where I guess I'm taking it.
I mean, sorry, mode.
Yeah.
You don't need to swap.
So not a lot of big things changes here. This actually second floor is the blades will still spawn, so we still need to make sure that the blades. Did you seriously take operative knockback? I love it.
You said he was gonna do that.
I love it. So we have the big purple circles here. These are aberrations. They don't do anything right now, but they're gonna move.
They're moving.
Yeah, they're moving. So you'll just need to make sure in story mode, you'll just need to make sure that you don't stand in them. Also, that big flash of light in that big kind of like thunderous clap, that is the machine core pulsing. That's gonna have a big part to play in the hard mode. The visual indicator is a push-pull cannon. This story, or the Revan fight, this fight is the ending, is the culmination of the end of 3.0. So once you have finished the Yavin storyline, you'll get an option to either take an elite squad into the temple to attack Revan directly, or you can do
Dailies.
So this is the operation before you go into the solo player Revan fight at the end. Alright, so this is third floor. Third floor, you have to break his cast of resonance, otherwise he'll one-shot the group.
I will never give in.
I've seen that.
I've seen it.
What?
If you don't break a shield,
yeah, he just one-shots the group. Alright, so
Oh,
aberrations are going to
wow.
spawn here as well as blades until about 10%. You'll have aberrations until the entire fight is over. So at 9%, Revan's going to jump up, and the machine core is going to appear. So once the
Fall.
machine fall.
Troll.
You cannot stop the sacrifice.
So we're gonna go over. Yeah, isn't this really cool? I actually really like the Revan fight. It's an interesting fight, very different, very mechanic heavy. It's one of the only fights you cannot force.
Think of how many lives the Emperor will consume.
there's a couple.
There's a
Kinda
couple.
can, but
Master Blaster.
Yeah, you cannot
Number one.
reinforce Master Blaster.
Basically
You're
anything that
good?
is a pug killer, you can't
You
really
would
force
save this world
in story mode.
only to
Yeah.
And it
destroy
just kind
all
of the list
existence?
grows in hard mode.
Yeah. So you don't actually kill Revan in the actual Temple of
I
Sacrifice
can't believe you.
instance.
It's madness that you would stop me
You
from
kill
saving
the core,
galaxy.
or you destroy the core, and then you'll actually fight and kill Revan in a separate
Adjust.
story. Yeah, you would adjust for 6 here.
Coalition 5.
It did.
Oh
And
no.
that's the Revan fight in story mode.
God damn it, there's an aberration on the loot crate.
right?
All right.
So, do you need a round?
No, look down the hole.
Down.
Yeah, because the stairs are invisible.
Yep. So the core, while the core is up, you're going to be taking constant stacks that decrease your health by, I think it's 10, it's like 1% per stack.
1% per stack.
1% per stack.
So, yo, Ren, look down. Look down now.
Look down. Oh, well,
Yeah?
hello there.
Hello.
Hello.
I wonder if I can get down there. Oh shit.
XD.